Hello, everyone. Today on Thought Salon, we're going to have tea with your website. I had a group of about 10 people today, and we talked about all the different ideas about how to make friends with our websites. And this is what I've culled from our discussion and some tips that I have for you. So here is me with my coffee. I It says, how do I take my coffee seriously, very seriously? So I actually have a teacup, but instead of tea, I have coffee, and that's fine. Whatever it takes. Suggest that once a week you schedule some time with your website. Just sit down and look at it, make friends with it, see what it needs, and see how you can support each other, how you can support your website. It's there for you as a tool, and how your website can better support you. So let's get into the thoughtful one today. So we start with intros, and then I will offer 3 ways to improve your website, 3 really simple tips. And then I'm going to offer a few ways that I can help. So as we get into the intros, I want to share that in this group, we had about 8 different people that were artists, and then a couple of people that weren't artists and that were healers and in different fields. So I thought that was really interesting. It reminded me of this cave painting from Argentina. Everyone wants to make their own mark. And yet when we put this together, we end up having a community of people. In the cave paintings, these marks were made over time, I don't know how long this culture lived and made these marks on these caves, but I probably assure you that they did not all happen at once. They happened over time, and it became a trend, and it became something that people did when they came into this cave. So I think that's really cool. And it reminds me of the internet. For tens of thousands of years, we've been wanting to make our mark with our own individual hands, but also we want to connect and make our marks with others and create community. So I had so many interesting conversations on this week's Thought Salon, and so much that, in fact, we decided not to record it and present it here because it's a very intimate process of revealing, things about our heart and soul. But I just culled different ideas from this for this presentation. Anyway, we all make our mark. We all come together in community. And this is such a great example that kind of represents the internet. When we think about our websites, not as technology, not as difficult, not as something that is hard for us to do. When we think about it as sort of, in a sense, a magic portal to other people across the world to be able to connect in community, then it gives me a lot better attitude towards my website. And I feel a lot more empowered to work with it. So the 3 tips that I have today for improving anybody's website is 1, clarity, 2, connection, and 3, have a call to action. And I love this frieze from the Egyptian times. They took the cave paintings and they moved it further with the different ways of carving word as symbols into their friezes. And this could be the Egyptian website, right? There are buttons, there are tools, there are the people that are sharing their information and their knowledge. And instead of having websites, they had phrases, but they taught each other and they taught each other their history. They gathered together around these phrases to understand their past, to understand power, to understand how their culture worked and their belief system and all of that. So I think this is really interesting in terms of the internet. If you think of your website as an Egyptian frieze where you are creating this world where you're sharing your knowledge, you're sharing your wisdom, you're sharing your belief system, and you're handing that down to the next person that is interested in learning this. That is such a powerful way to think about the internet and your website. Okay, my first way to improve your website. When you have your tea and you're just sitting here and you're thinking about your goals for your website, just think about how simple is it? Try to keep everything simple and keep things down to one or two or, 3 to 5 buttons on your homepage, one or two choices, really, because people get confused. They want simplified choices in a sense, and then they can discover more as they go deeper. So having a simple navigation and having an about you page that maybe at the top gives a very simple description of what you do, and then a longer version that people can read if they want to. So chopping it up in a few different parts, like a bullet point list or just a short couple of lines and a picture. And then below that, a longer story might be helpful. I showed my website, shannonborg.com/about, and I have a small paragraph about myself, but I have a long about page. I like to show images and I like to go into the history of where I came from and how I came to start doing art and coaching and a little bit about my story so people can connect with me. I think both are important and people can read what they want. And then to have a clear call to action on your website. What do you want people to do? And I would suggest that the main thing to have people do on your website is to sign up for your list. And this is why. Our social media is owned by Instagram and Facebook. They may or may not continue to exist. Also, as we know, the algorithm changes all the time, and that affects how we can connect with each other. So the more you can connect with your people that might be interested in your work or in your classes, the better. And when you have their email address, you can connect with them. The second thing on my 3 tips is connect. So one thing I want to reiterate is when you're connecting with people, I don't want you to think about it as being salesy or invading their space. When you have the mindset that you can actually help them and that they chose to get messages from you and that they can quit getting messages from you by unsubscribing at any time, then that gives you more freedom. And also think about it as you're offering value, you're teaching something you love. And if you can create a little freebie or a valuable free offer, which could be a PDF or a video on your website where people can receive something beautiful from you, it could be a downloadable image. It could be a screensaver of your work. There's all sorts of offers that you could give, and they want to continue the conversation with you by receiving more messages from you. That is a great way to start this conversation and not see it as being salesy or invading their space. It's their choice and you're offering something you love. Okay. So we all know the Michelangelo Sistine Chapel roof, the ceiling. And nowadays, those two fingers touching, God and actually, I can't remember who it is, but Adam, I suppose, yes, Adam, that the touch is now through the internet. It's through technology. It's through our podcasts. It's through websites. And when you're offering to help someone, you can offer your tools through this amazing portal. So I hope that you can think about different ways that you can help. And those can be part of your ways to connect with people. I have a couple of different ways that I help. I do a free consultation on my website. It's right up in the right-hand corner. You can go there and sign up for a free consultation, and I'll talk to you about your art, your business, your website for an hour free. And we really make a lot of progress in that hour sometimes. So you can bring any questions that you have to me. The next thing that I offer is a free course, and I'll show you that in a second. And then, of course, my coaching program, which is 6 weeks, actually 12 weeks, because it's every other week. And then also courses around building your business, around how to make your website better, how to create an artist statement, an artist bio, how to sell your work, all sorts of things. And the coaching is my main offer. So then this third tip is call to action. So my call to action is sign up for my free course. I created a course called The 4 Hats of Artists in Business, and it's about all the hats that we must wear when we have a business, but sometimes it feels overwhelming. So I go through this business overview to kind of help you get your head around or your hat around all the different parts of your business. You can go to my website, shannonboard.com/4-hats and sign up for that. So this is my freebie. My freebie is a 5-day course. You get one email each day with a little video, and it all adds up to this 4 hats course, which I think is really helpful. And I hope that you sign up for it. So again, we introduced each other to each other. There was a healer, there were artists, there is a writer, and people who are doing all sorts of different things. So it's so great in the thought salons to be able to come together with people and share ideas. One of the painters is a scientist and an artist. So she had really interesting input with the technical side and the artist side, the right and the left brain coming together to integrate. Then I gave my 3 tips, which were, the 3 tips were clarity, that make your website very clear, connect with people by offering value and getting their email address so you can communicate with them further. And then the last one is call to action. And that call to action can be sign up for my free course or download my advice about, how to create a great painting or whatever your knowledge is and whatever you want to teach. That is a great way that you can help. So I also wanted to just go over the images that I had in this presentation. Here we have tens of thousands of years ago, people wanting to make their mark and then wanting to come together in community. And this is a great symbol in how I like to think of the internet. Then we had the Egyptians who created a very structured way of passing on information. They had the symbolism in their hieroglyphs. They have their friezes where they would create these storyboards and storylines to help share their wisdom and pass down their knowledge. And I just find that beautiful. And then we have the Sistine Chapel where we have the gifts that we have, and then we touch each other through this beautiful platform of the internet. In the 19th century, here's a picture of the Academy. And if you notice, there are no women in this painting, except maybe a model or two, but most of them are buildings. Now we have so much more freedom. We have so much more opportunity to bring diversity into our world through the internet. So I just want to remember that and reiterate that I feel as a woman, it's my responsibility to teach other women about technology and to get past our fears around technology so we can use this amazing tool to help each other grow and raise each other up. And that brings me to my Michelangelo in the studio, where he is creating his podcast. He is connecting with his audience and creating value. And of course, you don't want to be caught on Zoom like this, as sometimes you see on the internet, but I think that's kind of an amusing graphic. Okay, thank you so much. My name is Shannon. I'm an artist and an artist coach, an art and business coach. Please find me and my free course at shannonborg.com. And I'm on Instagram at shannonborg. Thank you so much. And I hope to hear from you soon and see you again at next week's Thought Salon. Thank you.